If you're a people pleaser and relate to codependency at all, you're probably really good at pretending everything is okay even when it isn't. And the problem with that is over time, you start to feel invisible in your relationships. Like what you want and what you need doesn't really matter because you don't really say what you need and what you want. So in this video, I'm gonna share how you can be more authentic in your relationships by starting to identify and share what's really going on with you rather than pretend everything's fine when it isn't. But first, my name's Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist and I love helping people create relationships that work. So how I define codependency is it's basically a relationship pattern where we focus on others at our own expense. We give until it hurts. We don't set boundaries and we don't really value ourselves in the same way people who aren't codependent do. So why do we as codependents, and I'm one too, so I'm right there with you, why do we pretend everything's okay? Well, there's three reasons that I see. One is most codependents are externally focused. We're very good at knowing what other people need and what other people want, but we're not really tuned into what we need and how we feel. Because again, when you're totally focused on taking care of others or worrying about others, you're not really paying attention to what's going on internally inside yourself. The second reason we do this is because we assume that what we think and what we feel isn't really important anyway. We really downgrade our own perceptions and we just assume that other people's feelings are more important than ours. And the last one is you assume other people are going to get upset if you say no or express a different opinion. Because when you're codependent, you really are used to hiding your feelings, especially if you're feeling hurt or angry or frustrated or resentful. Usually we stuff all that down in our codependency because we don't want to cause a problem. We don't want any conflict. But here's the thing, when we hide our feelings, then we're really not being honest in relationship. And for me, that was a huge aha because I considered myself in my codependency very honest in every aspect of my life. But when I really looked at my relationships, I was hiding how I really felt. If somebody hurt my feelings, I never said anything. If someone asked for a different opinion, I tried to give the opinion I thought was popular, not my own, especially if I thought it was different. I didn't want to risk it. So that's part of what codependent people do, is we don't want to risk conflict and we don't want to risk potentially hurting somebody else's feelings. So we pretend everything's okay even when it isn't. So if somebody asks us to do something, you say yes no matter what, because you think, you know what, I've built this reputation on being generous, being helpful, volunteering, etc. And that becomes who you are. So the hard part is how do we undo some of that? And that's what I'm going to help you with right now. So the first thing you need to do is you need to start paying attention to your own feelings more than other people's. And this is just a major shift for codependence, is shift that focus from other people back onto you, because your body is going to tell you what you're feeling, whether it's muscle tension, sadness, anger. There's physical symptoms that happen in our body that tell us what's going on. All you need to do is start paying attention to that, because the first step in being authentic with other people is being authentic with yourself. And to own that, yeah, maybe you are upset, or yeah, maybe somebody did hurt your feelings. And instead of dismissing them or thinking, oh, that isn't important, I shouldn't bring it up, to really allow yourself to sit with it. That's what I had to do. Is in my recovery, that was so important, that when somebody hurt my feelings, I knew it, because I knew there was a tightness in my chest. And that was my sign to pay attention to what just happened that changed my emotion. Now, the next thing is I want you to start journal writing. This is a really powerful way to express all your feelings in an uncensored way without judgment. And when you first start this, you may question yourself, you may feel silly. Just do it anyway, and make sure the journal is not going to be seen by anyone else. You may even want to lock it up to feel safe. But what I want you to do is start writing how you feel. How was your day? How did you feel after a certain conversation? If you're in a bad mood, that's a perfect time to start writing. Because again, the more you in your codependency recovery honor your own feelings, then you're going to be able to take the next step and actually share them with other people. So that leads to number 3 is I want you to start picking the safest people first to start expressing a different opinion. If they ask you something and it's really inconsequential and no big deal, give a different opinion. You know, that is a great practice for you. So if somebody asks you what movie you want to see or where you want to go to eat, instead of saying, I don't care, just volunteer an answer. This is really a practice for you to start speaking up on the little things. Because as you do that and you find that it's not so scary and people are receptive of you, then the next step is to start sharing how you feel about something. So maybe something is really important to you and you haven't wanted to share it. And again, start with people you feel safe with. And risk, hey, you know what, this is how I see it. Because if you can say it that way, it comes across more as a perception, not being right. And I know for me, I did not want to cause any waves. So when I started doing this, I started really focusing on how can I share my own opinion or my own feeling without making the other person wrong. And this is how you do it. You just volunteer, you know, this is how I see it. What do you think? How do you see it? Right? You offer it as an opinion because your perception is absolutely essential to you being authentic in relationship. And your feelings are never wrong. So even if somebody else comes back and says, oh, I don't think that at all, you can say, oh, that's interesting. Well, this is just, you know, for whatever reason, that's where I went with it. Because it's really okay to have a different opinion. But now here's the caveat. Don't try this with people who are going to bust your boundary or are going to make you feel bad about yourself, because those are the people I wouldn't necessarily start this process with. I would start this process with people who are open, receptive, maybe even doing similar work as you in terms of personal growth, so that you can start to feel like your opinion matters. But how you do that is you have to realize that your opinion matters, your feelings matter. And if you want to be more known in your relationships, you have to start sharing them. And for me, sometimes that's saying no. If somebody asks me to do something, now I feel totally comfortable saying no. 10 years ago, oh my God, it was super hard. But that's what my relationship recovery gave me, is the ability to say no and be more authentic. And when I get stuck and I don't want to be authentic, I have to go do some writing. I have to talk it out with somebody that I trust, because there's something in the way. Because again, any new behavior you do, we're not going to do it perfectly, and that's okay. You don't have to do it perfectly. I just want to support you in making those baby steps so that you feel like you're gaining traction and you feel like you're growing in your codependency recovery. And the next thing is, I really want you to be gentle with yourself, because this process is hard and codependency recovery is not for the weak, but you're doing it. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to go watch my codependency video that I'm gonna have at the end of this post to deepen your recovery, because that's your next step. I want you to deepen your codependency recovery, and this next video is gonna help you do that. Thanks so much.